So I finished reading Heated Rivalry, and I have something I want to talk about that I haven't seen anyone else talk about yet. So here it is. Ilya and Shane are both bilingual characters, but they have very different relationships with their second language. Shane speaks English and French, and he grew up in Ottawa, which is a bilingual city. So this isn't explicitly stated in the book that I remember, and I haven't watched the show yet, so I don't know if it's mentioned in there. But I'm guessing that Shane grew up speaking French in addition to English, and that he just maybe even doesn't really have a second language. It's just that he grew up bilingual. Meanwhile, Ilya speaks Russian and English, and my interpretation, my understanding is that he didn't start learning English until he was a teenager, by which point it's a lot harder to pick up new languages, and English and Russian are very, very different languages. So that's another layer of that. Throughout the book and the show, from the clips that I've seen, Ilya clearly has a raw nerve about struggling with English, and he in the book multiple times will say, like, I can't talk about this in English, it's too much, or whatever. And he grumbles about Shane and his perfect fucking French at least once or twice. There's one time in the book for sure, and it's definitely happened behind the scenes because Shane is clearly aware of it, even though he's not present in the scene that I'm thinking of where Ilya is grumbling about it. And first of all, I'm a language nerd. I love to see multilingual characters, but also it's a really cool piece of characterization for both of them, ultimately. One second, my wife just walked in and fed me a candy. Ilya's not stupid. He probably knows that Shane grew up bilingual, and yet he still, kind of compares his own English to Shane's French, and the fact that Shane speaks perfect French with no accent, and Ilya stumbles over his English sometimes and speaks with a really thick Russian accent. So on Ilya's end, it really shows how hard he has been taught to be on himself, in that even though it's, I think, safe to assume that he knows that their experiences with learning a second language are very, very different from each other, and it makes total sense that Ilya would be struggling with English in a way that Shane does not struggle with French. And to him, he's still like, well, Shane can speak French with no accent, and I can't speak English with no accent. And it also ends up being a really interesting characterization thing for Shane, because Shane's response to Ilya being frustrated with his English is not to offer to help with his English. Shane's response is to offer to learn Russian. He sees Ilya struggling, and Shane offers to put himself in the position of struggling with a new language, so that Ilya can have communication with him that is in his home language and that is easier for him, and Shane is willing to take on that struggle for him, and sort of equalize their relationship in that way, which just shows how obnoxiously sweet and genuine of a person Shane is. I love these fucking hockey players.